Back with 10 Midjourney styles you can add to the end of your prompts separated by a comma to get some images like the ones you see on the screen right now. First style is as a kanji character. Now I don't know if these characters actually say anything in Japanese, I just love the image effect. But the first one I thought I'd get out of the way because I still thought it was interesting is that the futuristic car added some kanji to the side of the car, or at least something that looks like kanji. But when you move on to the rest, we get these cool designs where it's kind of like it's tried to half convert the image to a kanji character and half just kind of slap some kanji looking symbols on there. But overall, it creates some really nifty images, and I love the paint strokes, the art style, and most of them tend to have a very black, white, and red kind of look to them. So overall, I think it's a cool style to play with, and you can see from the images we've shown you here, it creates something a little bit different. It looks very sort of like a real image, but it just does a good job with whatever you throw at it. Now, the beautiful waterfall in nature was a little bit different, the fact that it kind of just took an image of a waterfall and slapped kanji over the top, but still interesting nonetheless. And moving on, we've got black and white vintage comic book cover. And this is another way of just trying to get something that looks really old-fashioned, but comic-y. So you look at Mickey Mouse here, it looks like a really, really old comic book cover. It tends to have a lot of explosions and starbursts in the background. Mario, once again, that old-fashioned style, very black and white. And Goku charging up. I could just see the actual comic book sort of cover elements, like the title and everything, added around this really effectively. And samurai standing in front of Mount Fuji. Very different again, but it just has that really cool sort of like just old-fashioned style to it. Like you could actually picture these on the cover of a book, especially the futuristic car. You could see how you could easily add elements around the car here. Just a really cool image. And Darth Vader, again, looks like an old Darth Vader comic from the 1960s, even though Star Wars wasn't around back then. But overall, just a really cool impact. And the Terminator, again, you can see how this would easily become a cover and is a very cool image. And the beautiful waterfall in nature, again, a very cool looking image and just carries that style really well. The Incredible Hulk, he's always looking pretty hulky. Now, it hasn't tried to infuse too much green this time, which I thought was cool. But just the overall, even the little folds in the paper, you can sort of see some folds in the paper in there, sort of around his belt line, and that just adds for a little bit of authenticity. But Blockbuster movie poster. This frames up your images basically like a Blockbuster movie poster. Makes them really dramatic, but really well laid out. So Goku here, it's kind of like Goku comes to town type thing with the moon in the center. The choice of colors, very artistic. You move on to the Incredible Hulk. It's tried to add in some text and some names at the top, and it hasn't done a good job with it, but that looks like an actual movie poster, but more like the modern artsy sort of style ones. And this Mickey Mouse one looks more like a modern character movie poster, the way it's like Disneyland is burning down, and looks like he's actually a part of it, to be honest. But overall, it just has that really movie poster look. You pop a title at the top and you've got yourself a movie poster. You move on to Darth Vader. This is kind of like a really old movie poster for a Darth Vader movie. And the Ninja Turtles. I don't know why. It looks like Donatello has got the old over-the-top style headband. So it's a little bit different, but I actually really loved that it had all of the right colors. Like the purple might be a little bit bluish, but overall, that looks pretty cool. And it looks like something you'd see on a movie poster. And Mario, very sort of John Wick, like he's out, Luigi's been killed, or maybe something a little less intense. Maybe one of the turtles has been killed or something, and he's out to get revenge, but he looks angry. And the samurai standing in front of Mount Fuji. This looks like it could be a real movie poster, like someone climbing Mount Fuji as a samurai, but just the way it's lit and the colors used, very cool. And Techno-Organics is something I played with, and it's not a consistent style, but it tends to kind of mess up certain elements. So with Mickey Mouse here, he looks techno, and he looks a little bit more like a robot, but it just kind of mess him up a little bit. But when you move to Goku, it just sort of, the way it takes certain elements that may look sort of straight and it adds in kind of more organic line work. I can't really describe what it does, but every image was a bit different, but this was that one consistent thing. Now, obviously with this one here, we've got a technological car sitting in an organic environment, which is a beautiful picture. So I thought that was worth showing. But we go back to Hulk, and the way it's kind of tried to add in more natural elements into the image, it's kind of like a nice contrast between that sort of straight technological line work and the organic line work. Although with the Hulk, it's pretty much mostly organic. And Mario, he looks like he's just like old and rusted, but you can see how it just seems to change up these images, and I have any idea why. And we've got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Let's pick Donatello here. Very interesting impact on that image. It's changed up a lot of stuff. So again, try that one out and see what you get with it, because I find it to be just a really hard one to nail down. Now, if you haven't already, check out my Midjourney Style Pack. Over 1,000 styles you can apply to your Midjourney prompts to get some pretty stunning images. Victorian zombie style. This is taking kind of like that Victorian sort of era and zombie and applying it to things like Goku. So we've got the old-fashioned hat, the Victorian style hat, but he's got that zombified look to him. You move on to the futuristic car, and the car actually looked quite old-fashioned, but back then it would have been futuristic. And Mickey Mouse, he's got that same weird hat on. He looks like a zombie. It looks a little bit kind of disturbing. And the Terminator, he looks very distinguished. He's one of the high-class zombies, judging by the hair and the very, very nifty jacket. But Darth Vader, high class. You can sort of see the eyes in the helmet look a bit dead. Very interesting impact this image has. They don't necessarily always turn into zombies, but they always turn into someone that looks kind of dead. And the Incredible Hulk got the Victorian style jacket and clothes on, and he's coming at you. Very cool image. And the Ninja Turtles, they look like they are quite rich. They don't look too zombified, but the zombified look is kind of, I guess, wiped out the color. But I like the way it's added suits to the turtles. Very cool addition. And fire art made of flames. I really enjoy what this one does. So we've got art made out of flames and fire. So Goku made out of fire, but kind of like in a painting. When we move on to Mickey Mouse, he's just looks like a Mickey Mouse head with legs, but looks like kind of like the symbolic burning down of Disneyland. And you move on to the samurai standing in front of Mount Fuji. He's not made out of fire, but there is fire everywhere as Mount Fuji seems to be erupting. And the Terminator, once again, made out of fire. That nice profile style shot. Very cool image. And Darth Vader, he looks like this looks like a nightmare scene out of a Star Wars movie, where Darth Vader's come back to life and is haunting someone, possibly Luke, by coming at him and engrossed in flames. And the beautiful waterfall nature kind of added flame elements into the water, which I thought was nifty, and it did this with every single image that I did with the waterfall. And the Incredible Hulk is flaming, and he is running at you, about to Hulk out with rage. Very cool looking image. Not exactly the most consistent with the others, but still a cool image. And art made out of paperclips. This was a little bit different. You can't necessarily tell it's paperclips, but it has that effect. So Mickey Mouse is just like line work made out of paperclip type objects. And the Incredible Hulk, we have the same thing again. Paperclip type objects, but when you zoom in, they don't look like paperclips, but it just has that effect. And Goku, this one looks a little bit closer to it. And this one, if someone had actually made this out of paperclips, that would be incredibly impressive. And the Terminator, I love the way it's added the glow and the sunglasses, but otherwise, these aren't paperclips as much as little objects, but it's still a cool image. And Mario, looks like he's made out of paperclips and possibly some material that is kind of like standing on its edge. But that's a really cool effect as well. And filthy, shredded and torn paper grunge effect. This one is a way of taking images, adding a really destructive paper effect. This is one of the tamer images, but it looks like a really old piece of paper with the Hulk printed on it. The modern family home just looks like some torn up, shredded paper with family home attached to it. But also some of the rooms have doubled with walls as that paper. In the Terminator, this looks like a shredded up piece of paper, very old and damaged. I love the way you can just see the eye, the endoskeleton eye on the left there. And Goku, this one looks more like kind of cracked rocks, but there's a bit of a paper style to it, a bit harder to pick. But you can see how it really roughs up these images. And Mickey Mouse, again, another roughed up image. And the way it's gone for the super clean Mickey Mouse face whilst using this incredibly complex sort of texture is it's a nice use, kind of like they work well together. And the futuristic car, I just loved the background and the look of this. It didn't put it on paper, but it added the same visual kind of patterns to the image. And beautiful waterfall in nature. This one, I love the look of this. Just absolutely filthy, destroyed, grungy looking image. Very cool. And scratchy, messy ink. So you take the Terminator here, and we've got some like a picture drawn in ink, but with a lot of extra sort of like scribbles and lines around it. It's a very consistent style, as you can see here with Darth Vader, a few splats, lots of line work existing outside of just the actual drawing. And with Hulk, the lines tend to almost convey a little bit of action and movement. So I think this is a really cool addition. And with Goku, I love the way it's actually had the paper and the pens added to the image. The look on his face is really cool, a little bit more of a Vegeta type look, but just the use of the way the ink colors kind of go in different directions around him, just really cool. And the futuristic car, I really love the way this one looks. It doesn't look like it conveys movement at all. It literally just looks like a car that's clean, but like in a mess of ink, splatters and lines. And Shisa Style. So I've actually got another bonus one after this, which is really cool. So it looks kind of like this statue, but it applies the style to the images. It doesn't actually convert them to the statue. So Mickey Mouse, he looks quite different, and it's picked up a lot of the cultural references. But you move on to Goku, and it's really kind of converted him into one of those animals, but an illustration of those animals. So even though it is Goku, it's not Goku. And Mario, looking, I don't really know what to say. It's added the horns and some of the elements, but ultimately kept him as a 3D Mario. And Darth Vader, looking a little different again. We've got the more intricate sort of pattern work on him and the proportions added. I thought this was really nifty. But the Terminator, I've got a few of these. It did a really interesting job with a few of these Terminator images. Like I said, you don't really get the Terminator. Well, you do here, but the alterations it's made are very unique. And I love the way that it really actually uses proper technological looking elements to create these images. This is all the same prompt, and these were all from the same image grid. Very, very cool result. And the Hulk, he is dressed like an Okinawan warrior. Very cool. But the Okinawan Shisa style statue is the bonus style, and it has a slightly more overpowering effect. But the futuristic car, it's converted to a statue, but I love the way it's added the mouth and nose to the grill with the lights as eyes, proving that AI sees cars the same way we do. And Batman, he is a Shisa style statue. I really like, and I'm probably saying that wrong, by the way, but I love the way it converted to a statue, but added in those extra elements. And Goku, again, we don't get Goku, we get a cool dragon, just like, I think maybe like the dragon that was in the cartoon. And Mario, a little bit more converted this time. Really interesting effect that it's had on him there. With the Incredible Hulk is more just like a green hulking little man with the same sort of style teeth as these statues. But you move on to Mickey Mouse, and he looks like a little deranged, just knocked him down a few pegs in the intelligence department. But overall, a nice sort of conversion to that statue. And the Modern Family home pops a statue at the front of the home, which was a nice addition, whilst Darth Vader, he is also being changed, similar to the last one, but more statuesque and more, the colors are more in line with the statue. But just looking at the elements added to the cape, to the helmet, it really does a great job of blending these two subjects. But the Terminator, there's no Terminator this time. It's just kind of like the color and a little bit of a feel added into this statue, but still really cool. And Ninja Turtles, or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The way it's added a little bit more of a beast-like element, and just the bits and pieces added to like the knee pads, things like that. Just a really, really cool image. And Pikachu, he just looks like an angry dog, but in statue form. But I really highly recommend playing with those two styles to see what you get. But otherwise, those are the styles for this week, guys. I hope you found them useful, and I hope you liked them. If you did, please consider giving the video a like. And don't forget to check out my styles playlist. I'll pop on the screen right now. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again next time. Have a great day.